Ariel Helwani, post-fight at UFC 115 with UFC President Dana White. And Dana, the event is over, and if you can you take off the UFC President hat for a second and put on the friend hat? What was it like seeing your friend Chuck Liddell out on the canvas again?
Yeah, obviously, when you're friends with somebody, you never like to see that. But, I feel good about tonight. Chuck and I sat down, we talked about this, and my big concern with Chuck was taking this serious, and he did. He went above and beyond on that. He looked better than I've ever seen him, was in great shape, and in my opinion, he went out the way Chuck Liddell would want to go out. He went out there and fought the way that made him a world champion and made him famous, man. He went out guns a-blazing, was trying to knock Rich Franklin out, and just a testament of what kind of shape he was in tonight. When's the last time you saw Chuck Liddell throwing head kicks and leg kicks? There was a while there where he wasn't even lifting his feet off the floor. Thought he looked great tonight, and again, without sounding condescending, I'm proud of him.
But more to that point, up until the knockout, did you in fact think that he had sort of improved or reinvented himself?
I wouldn't say reinvented himself. I would say he looked like the Iceman of old. There was no doubt in my mind what he was going to do. He was going to go out there and stalk Rich Franklin and try to knock him out. And because Rich is a southpaw, he's probably going to go throw big right hands, left hooks. But I was impressed. He was throwing kicks. He went for a takedown just to mess Rich up so that Rich wouldn't think that he was just going to punch and kick. I thought Chuck looked great right up until it ended.
Would the Iceman of old have gotten knocked out by that punch?
Absolutely not. Nope. Chuck Liddell was one of those guys that had a chin that you could hit him with a steel bar and not knock him out. His chin was legendary back in the day. I mean, he fought all the best guys in the world, and he would get hit with big shots and just keep right on coming.
Did you have a chance to talk to him after the fight?
I didn't. They took him right out, and he went to the hospital, and it was the end of the show, so I ended up getting caught in the arena.
I don't want to put you in this position again, but after UFC 97, you said that was the last time we'd see him fight again. What about this time? Do you think this is the end for him?
I guarantee you that tonight is the last night.
Can you really, though, guarantee it? Because you know how fighters are. They're persuasive. Do you really think you'll be able to convince him?
I guarantee you tonight was the last night.
Okay, and how about Rich Franklin? You've said often that he is the most underrated fighter in your company. How impressed were you with what he did out there?
I thought he looked awesome tonight. And you know what's even more impressive? Chuck Liddell broke his arm with that kick he hit him with. And, Rich didn't stop and wince and try to say, hey, I broke my arm. Rich kept right on fighting, and with 10 seconds left in the fight, knocked Chuck Liddell out. I don't know why so many people keep dogging Rich Franklin and underrating him. He's fought all the best in the world, the toughest guys out there, and he's always in the mix, man.
Is he in the Rashad Evans, Machida Rampage mix, or does he need one more fight, one more big win to get into that mix?
No, I think tonight, the way that he won and who he is and how long he's been around. How does a guy like Rich Franklin? Oh, he has to work his way back up. Yeah, he has to work his way to the title, but he's in the mix with all those other guys.
One more final question on Chuck before we move on. What kind of role will he have in the UFC? Because you said he's always going to have a place in this family.
It's going to depend. It depends on what he wants to do. Chuck's always going to be with us, always going to be around, and I need to get together with him and see exactly what he wants to do and how he wants to handle this whole thing.
Okay, let's talk about the new comedian that you have on the payroll, Mirko Cro Cop. He's got everyone laughing and smiling. He seems like a new guy. He seems very happy. Can you pinpoint something that is maybe changed for him? Is it just a little more maturity? What is it?
I have no clue. He showed up for this fight in great spirits, and I love it. I love the new Mirko Cro Cop. It's awesome. I've always liked Mirko, and I've always respected him, and this is fun to have him as open with the media as he has been, and as fun as he's been in the press conferences.
Do you think Pat Barry didn't show enough killer instinct, especially in that first round with the hugging and the high fives?
No doubt about it. I think Pat Barry did show too much respect. Mirko doesn't think so, because Mirko got hit with some big shots, but he'd hit him with big shots and then didn't follow up with them. And I don't actually know if it was too much respect or too much disrespect. He felt like, all right, I'll let him stand up and I'll get him out of here. Mirko Cro Cop's always a dangerous guy, and when you got a guy like that hurt, you should go in for the finish.
Now this was the last fight on his contract. Safe to assume that you're going to try to work to get him back?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's assured Lorenzo and I that he wants to he wants to end his career here. So, we want him to too.
Okay, just want to touch on a couple of other, maybe some negative notes. The the Matt Wyman fight. It obviously ended controversially. How do you rectify the situation? Because you have said, of course, you thought it was an early stoppage. Everyone would agree on that. But this seems to be the one sort of negative cloud that always hangs over the events when the refs stop the fights too early. Or how do you rectify this?
The ref. There's always bad reffing, man, and it sucks. You know, a referee should know when a guy's choked out, and a referee shouldn't be sitting there have to listen to a fighter. Fighter's going, he's out, he's out. A referee should know when a guy's out. You don't listen to a fighter. You know what I mean? You should know when the guy's choked out, and you should go in and make your decisions. It's the same thing with clinching. You see these guys in a stalemate, just standing there forever, and a ref just standing there staring at them. Be referees. Get in there and make some decisions. Know what you're talking about. Know the sport. Know when a guy's in a certain submission and when he's choked out. That's why I'm telling you, man, I wish they could clone Herb Dean, you know? And it's not like I'm friends with Herb Dean. I probably said 5 words to Herb Dean in my whole life. But I respect it. I think this guy's the greatest referee in the history of the sport. And the commission should have this guy putting on clinics. And he needs to choke a few of these other referees out so they know what it is and what it feels like. And, you know, it's getting to the point now where it's starting to get ridiculous. And as we get more fights every year going on, you know, it's just going to mean more problems if we don't get good referees.
Here's the thing, though. I know you always say it's up to the commission, right? And ultimately, it is up to the commission. You get new media and new fans, and they just point the finger at you and the UFC, and they say, look at these refs. They don't know what they're doing. So in some ways, it's like this cloud hanging over your events. So what can you do, if anything, to rectify it?
It's true, and it's weird that it's happening to us, because in boxing, everybody knew the referees had nothing to do. Well, you'd still get that stuff like Don King. You know, Don King paid the ref. Let me tell you what. The refs and the athletic commission could give a what I think. They don't care. You know, I try to give my input all the time. I'm very public about how I feel about fights and about referees, you know, but it does no good, man. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
Okay, 2 quick hits before we let you go. James Toney, did he sign his contract to fight Randy Couture? Because there seems to be some conflicting reports.
Yeah, I mean, who would even come up with that report? Where would that even come from? Yes, he signed his contract. The fight's happening in Boston.
Okay, and Jake Shields, he was here tonight. Any update on that situation?
We're in negotiations with him. We have not signed him yet.
Are you maybe looking to what Strikeforce might do to counter your offer, or do you think this is a sealed deal, so to speak?
Strikeforce doesn't mean jack. I could care less what they're doing. I can't even believe that people even put their name in a conversation. You know, oh, what about Strikeforce? What about Strikeforce? They're minor league. You know, you might as well ask me what's going on with the DEF or the ZBY or some other small organization around the world.
I'm not sure if I've heard of those, but I kind of see what you're trying to say.
I'm sure they exist.
All right, Dana, thank you for the time. Congrats on a big event.
Thanks, brother.